Hello there, my name is Sixo, but more on that later because we've got a second round of Blokees action today. Yes, I so enjoyed the last video where we took a look at their range of build them yourselves figures that I couldn't wait to come back for more, and that's especially true today as we have some Transformers One designs in the offing, and it's all thanks to Blokees themselves, so of course you will find a link to their site in the description below in case you want to go ahead and check them out for yourselves. Up for consideration today we've got the Galaxy version 05 limited edition box set of some of their smallest and most accessible designs, and indeed 4 of their classic class figures, all modelled after some of the main cast of the film, and I have to say these are looking really rather enticing. Now that's especially true because these boxes are gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous, like the way they catch the light, everything, just spectacular. This is how you do eye-catching packaging. But it's fair to say I'm also just really intrigued by this Optimus and Megatron pairing as well, especially as we've looked at a lot of the Hasbro owned toys of these characters, so I cannot wait to see how these compare today. As before though, we're going to start with the smallest and work our way up, and in this case that is the Galaxy version 05 box set, and in here you've got 9 different boxes, all with different characters, all from Transformers One, although we don't know which is in each box. Now as I mentioned last time, you can buy these individually, but I think there's something quite fun about just getting a whole box of them and just having at it, frankly. Like, what could be better? So let's pick one at random and get started. Can't wait to see who it's gonna be. It's a mystery, isn't it? All part of the fun. As usual, in the box you've got a set of instructions and 2 bags, one larger one and one smaller one. Right then, let's have a little look in here. Who have we got? It's Optimus Prime. Okay, I swear that was a total fluke on my part, right? Anyway, then there's the second bag, which has like the hands in and stands and things like that. But anyway, it's worked out pretty well because who doesn't love Optimus Prime? As usual, you start with this little body piece. That's kind of the core of it all. Now, there is usually these little additional ball joints that kind of go onto the shoulders, but apparently Optimus is a bit special and you can just put the chest straight on before coming around to the rear and adding on the back piece like so. And Optimus has this little silver piece that goes on there as well. That looks really nice. Then we've got the crotch piece, so we want to add one panel to the front and one on the back as well, and then just plug that together with the rest of the main body. Next it's time to look at some arms, and the first thing you want to do is push this little joint piece into the top of the shoulder until it clicks, and then we can go ahead and add the bottom of the arm just there, and that's the same thing. You'd have to push these quite hard, but then it should go. Now in Optimus's case, he's got these little shoulder pieces that kind of tab over the top like so, and then these are pretty tiny, but you've got these little smokestacks that you just want to peg on there. Now he needs a hand, so we're going to give him a fist in this case, and no surprise, that just pegs in on the wrist like so. Very handy. And then when both arms are done, you can just go ahead and obviously attach them to the main body. That's very easy. Similar story on the legs. We want to peg that joint piece into the thigh and then take the lower half of the leg and put that on as well. Then we need some ankles. So we've got these little ball joint pieces that just go on like so. And then on there, you can pop the foot straight on as the front cover of the legs, which just come around here and snap into place. Couldn't be easier. And then with both legs done, we can go ahead and attach those to the main body, which is very satisfying. We've then got these absolutely tiny pieces for the face. This is the back of the face there, and you want to get this little blue piece, which actually makes up the eyes, just inside. And then we have the back piece of the helmet, and the face just goes in like so, before finally we finish it all off with the front of the helmet just there as well. And then of course, popping the head on the body. And there we go, job done. He looks fantastic, and as before, that's tons of fun. I really enjoy that process. It's so simple, there's no real expertise required or anything like this, like you don't need cutters or any sort of special tools. It's literally just get it out the box and go. And the resulting figure is super cute. Like, again, I just love the proportions of these little things, and it really works for Transformers One especially, I think, because of the kind of style of the animation and the characters and everything else. Something about it gels fantastically with Blokees' own inherent design. Like, I'm not even exaggerating here, but I genuinely think this might be the best Transformers One Optimus Prime face sculpt that we've seen on any of the toys that I've looked at so far. Like, he's got his little baby blues going on and everything, but it's the sculpt, the design, it just nails him to a T. Really nice sticker detail here with the matrix in the chest and down to the crotch and everything, perfectly kind of recreating the detail from the film. That looks good. Colours on offer are really good, with this kind of vibrant red and blue being a good match for the clean look at the end of the film, and I absolutely love this kind of slightly off color brushed silver. I think that's really nice. I mean, it's weird because it's kind of got an almost gold quality to it. Like, it's definitely not just a straight silver. Kind of puts me in mind of the Studio Series toy in a way, but I actually think this looks way nicer, and it just makes me think that this must have been a consideration at one point in the development of the movie. There's a bit of detail on the shins and everything as well. That looks really nice. It's kind of hilarious to say this because of course we think of Blokees figures as being like super stylized, but I think this might be the most cartoon accurate Optimus Prime I've seen of all of them. Anyway, he's also got a super cool looking rifle that we can just pop in his hand. And then if you want to, you can remove either of his hands very easily and then pop in his energy axe instead. And again, I don't know how to say this, but that just feels like a very perfect recreation of the film. Like, it's so animation accurate in a very weird way. This is absolutely excellent. I mean, no surprise the energy axe is blue instead of the orange that we see on screen. We've had that with all the Optimus Primes so far, and we know that it's because of the concept artwork that was considered at one point, but I do think that this looks really, really nice. That translucent plastic is lush, detail's great, it looks fab. And you can also add him onto his little stand as well, if indeed you want to, that's an option. Anyway, we will do some comparisons with those other Optimus Primes in a minute, but I do want to acknowledge that I think this guy looks the business. But let's check out some of the other figures in this range as well. First up, we've got the same character in a different guise. This is Orion Pax, of course, before he becomes Optimus Prime, and he looks great. Similarly screen accurate in its way, but captures a lot of that detail really nicely. Similar colours, everything, but still feels quite different overall. I mean, as with Optimus, I think they've done a banging job on that head sculpt, some really nice stickers and everything just there. You can see his little cog in his chest, so that's cool. And he's even got a little blaster, so nice job. Here you can see the two takes on this character together, and although they're the same size, I think it works really well, especially as there are a lot of differences between them in terms of the body shape and things like that. Next up, we've got Perpetual Motormouth B127, or Bumblebee if you prefer, and again, he looks great. Really nice colours on this one. I really like that vibrant yellow, and again, quite reminiscent of his appearance in the film, I think. It's really noteworthy to me what a fantastic job Blokees are doing with these face sculpts, considering how small these are, but they're also quite stylized, but they've really kind of captured the likeness to my eye. Then of course we have what is arguably the standout character of the film, it's Megatron, or in this case, D16, and he looks so spot on. I mean, again, they've absolutely nailed the essence of the character as you see him on screen with that face sculpt, I think. Just perfect. And I really like that they've included this little scratched Decepticon logo on there as well, the little blowtorch Decepticon logo. That is super cool. Something I haven't seen on any of the official toys so far, so props to Blokees for that. Nice attention to detail. Now he's wielding two different cannons, one on either forearm. They're kind of on the bottom of the forearms actually, if anything. It's a bit weird that they're maybe not on the side with the sort of peg hole or whatever, but still, it looks really cool. And he's even got a little Megatronus sticker on his shoulder just there. Technically, I suppose he shouldn't have it at the same time as the chest thing, but hey, it still looks pretty good. And here you can see him squaring off against Orion. I would put him with the final Optimus, of course, but this is actually not Megatron. This is still D16 at this point, as I say, so this feels more appropriate. It's a shame that they haven't done a final form Megatron in this smaller format, but we do have one in the classic class, so I'm looking forward to seeing that. We've then got the one, the only Sentinel Prime. You gotta love to hate him. And this thing looks spectacular. The blue is so nice along with the gold, really striking, and again a very good likeness for the film. Love that they've got his little double sword in there. That's actually two pieces that peg in either side of the fist. The wings are super cool as well. They just kind of fan out and articulate however you want on a ball joint, and as before, I think that face sculpt is terrific. I can actually hear John Hamm's voice whenever I look at this thing. Next time, legends. Then we have three of the Autobot crew. We've got Wheeljack, Hound and Ironhide. The last of those two share a very similar body type. It's really just the head that is different, and they've all got the same gun as well between the three of them, but still they look really, really good. Love the colours that have been used as well. The face sculpts are really distinctive. These look great. And honestly, props to Blokees, because we're not really getting characters like this in toy form elsewhere, right? Like, I haven't seen any Hound or Ironhide toys from Transformers One, anything like that, and there's a lot of these background characters that are still kind of interesting, even if they don't actually get that much screen time, so I think this is fantastic. Hopefully we get a Jazz as well at some point. And last but by no means least, we've got one of the Vehicons as well. Now this guy is described on the box as being Death Tracker, which is a name I don't recall from the film, but there you go, that's what he is apparently. Whatever the case, I think he looks great. Not much colour going on, really dark blue overall with a little silver face and just these kind of little two red stripes on the arm to kind of break that up a little bit, but still the blue is so nice in hand, really looks fab. He's got these little wings on his backpack as well, which kind of fold out or however you want them to go, so that's pretty cool. And as far as the set of 9 figures goes, I think this is excellent stuff from Blokees, honestly, like really good variety. quite incredible to think that they all come from the same base body type, but they all look so distinctive, which is really something. There's a couple of characters that I might have preferred to have seen, like it's a shame that there's no Elita-1 in this mix-up for starters, given that she is one of the main 4 characters, but again, we do have her in the classic class, so we'll just have to look forward to that. But overall, you know, I think this is a wonderful set and highly recommended. Anyway, speaking of those classic class figures, it's time to check those out as well. Now we may as well go ahead and build Optimus Prime, why not? I'm really excited for this one. Firstly, let's see what there is in the box in this case. Now, I'm already familiar with these from the last video. So it's basically all these different sprues with lots of different parts. You just need to go and find the bit that you're looking for and then snap it all together. So let's get going. First things first, as advertised, this is a very fun build. No real major complexity here. If you're a real novice like me, it's not going to present you any major difficulty, and it was great fun too. And the result is really quite spectacular actually. Like, as I say, we've been looking at a number of Transformers One Optimus Primes on this channel recently, and there's something about this thing that honestly takes the cake. Like, it's shiny, it's really nice and clean looking. Alright, it doesn't transform, but aside from that, it's got just about everything you could want. It's absolutely beautiful. I mean, check that out for a head sculpt, right? Really good likeness to the film, looks super handsome. Also comes with a non-faceplated version as well, so you can swap that out in the build if indeed you prefer. You don't have to have the faceplate on there, so that's really nice, and something that, you know, a lot of the more traditional Optimus Prime toys don't deliver. So I think that is superb. Really can't overstate how great this shiny red plastic looks. I mean, it's not painted or anything, but it catches the light beautifully, and it looks fantastic. Of course, you've got his little opening chest gimmick as well, with his matrix inside, and that does light up indeed. Just wonderful, really. Nice detail on the crotch and the chest and all down there, and again you've got that slightly off silver colour going on the thighs and other areas, but it looks really, really good here. Way better than like on the Studio series, for example, as I say. Again, nice shiny plastic on areas such as the blue, on the legs. That just, I mean, look at that, it's so nice. Nice and posable figure too, really nuanced, lots of give in areas such as the shoulders and the ankles and that kind of stuff. You only get a 90-degree bend at the elbow, but honestly it's got just about everything that you're going to want, and it handles like a charm. Now you've got various options for the hands. Of course, you've got 2 sets of open palms, 2 sets of fists, so you can swap those out if indeed you want. Or of course you've got your battle axe, which just pegs in place like so. And that again is super nice, a little bit longer this time, and you've got little kind of orange-yellow accents around the outside, so if anything the colours are kind of flipped from the animation, but still it looks really, really good. And all of the classic class figures again come with these display stands in 2 halves, so you just kind of snap those together like so, and then it's a simple job to just peg them on top, and they feel very stable like that. You could attach them all together, have a little diorama going on, so that's a bit of fun. You can then add on these little translucent blue pieces of plastic as well for a bit of decoration. All of the different classic class figures have these, but they just come in different colours depending on the character. And speaking of those other figures, I think it's about time we took a look at those as well, because I could not be more impressed with this range. First up, Megatron looks perfect. Like, I've been craving a sort of screen-accurate Megatron in his final form from the film. And now here at last we have that very thing. It's got the right cannons on him, the right look, the right head sculpt, all the right detailing. Superb. I mean, I'm genuinely not joking when I say that the look of this thing more than gives the official toys a run for their money, right? Like, it's just breathtaking. It catches the light so nicely again, the silver, all of that. It looks spot onto the screen, as I mentioned. I'm really, really blown away by it. I mean, there's something about the kind of angles on the head and, again, just this cannon, all the kind of workings in the arm, all of it. Just so well done. Really, really happy with this. Now, as with Optimus, all of these classic class figures have light-up eyes and other bits, which you can activate by shaking them, or in this case, tapping them. It's a little bit hard to capture on camera, but if I dim the lights, you can just about see what's going on there, and it does look really nice. And again, I'm left feeling that this might be the most cartoon-accurate renditions of these characters that I've seen thus far. Like, it just, I don't know, it evokes the screen look in a way that some of the transforming toys don't, and this pair just a really, really good double act together. Now, it's a similar story with Sentinel Prime, which yet again looks undeniably gorgeous with some shiny blue plastic going on, really, really nice, some lovely gold accents as well, and again, a high likeness to the screen. What more could you want? Now, as with Prime, there are several options for the face sculpt on this one. You can have this sort of default face, or you can swap it out for his battle mask as well, that you do see during the film, so that's really a very welcome option. You've got lots of posing options with those wings, because these are on ball joints, as with the smaller figure, so you can have them really however you wish. Again, he comes complete with that double sword, so you've got loads of options for how you display and wielding that. And in terms of the hands, you've got two alternate builds. You can go for the kind of battle mode like this, where you don't have the hands installed and these bits come down lower and it kind of looks more like a blaster. And then on this left arm, you can install this kind of nice pinky purple shield with the little gun on top, so that's all really cool. Or you can just put a hand in for a more normal option. Likewise with the legs, you've got two alternate builds. You can have him with blasters sticking out the side and thrusters instead of feet for a kind of battle mode again. And that looks super cool. Really like how it looks, but I've gone for the kind of more classic build because I want to have him standing stoically on a shelf somewhere, kind of posing as he does. So, but I think the options here are really great, and very interactive figure. I really like that they included all of that, especially as it gives so many options in terms of how you play with him, how you display him, all that kind of stuff. So just terrific value for money, really, I think, in this package. And then here you can see the two versions of Sentinel Prime that Blokees have done side by side, and there's no real right or wrong here. They're both terrific interpretations, but it has to be said that the classic class is pretty nice. And then we have Elita-1, which I'm sure most fans will tell you is one of the more underrepresented characters in the toy lineup so far. Like, we've had a distinct absence of very screen accurate toys of her overall, so this is very welcome to see, and I think they've captured her beautifully. Absolutely adore the pink colour that they've used on here. It's actually quite hard to capture on camera, but trust me, it looks really good in hand. And the proportions on her are fantastic as well, because, you know, she does look a little bit kind of slender like she is in the film, but not undersized at all in any way, so I think they've done a brilliant job at kind of capturing her likeness. All of which means that this interpretation of the character feels like a real success, and if anything, this currently for me is the Elita-1 to beat. So how's that for you? And it has to be said, I'm just loving these classic class figures overall. Not only are they fun to build and fun to handle, but they're just really good takes on the characters, as I say, and they do a good job at bringing the screen to life. I think it's one of those things where there's a lot of enjoyment in putting them together, and they represent something a bit unique in that way, but they also look really good, and dare I say, some people are going to be satisfied with these as their take on these particular characters in their collection, I think. I mean, by way of comparison, you can see the two Blokees interpretations of Megatron on the left here, and then you've got the Studio Series figure on the right, which is actually not that much bigger than the Blokees Classic class. And I think it's such an interesting comparison because, again, there's no doubt to me that the Classic class does a brilliant job at representing the screen look and kind of gives you that shiny finish and everything that you'd probably want versus the sort of more matte look that you're going to see on the Studio Series figure. Similarly, here we have the two Blokees Optimus Primes on the right, and then on the left we have the Takara Tomy Brave Commander toy and the Studio Series. And again, it's so surprising to me to say that honestly, I think the Classic class is the one that evokes the animation the most out of all of these in many ways. And people are going to say that's because, you know, it doesn't transform or whatever else, but it's more than that. I think it's the choice of materials used, the design, I think the head sculpt is bang on. So there's a lot of stuff that wouldn't be impacted by the fact that it just doesn't transform. I think it's an outright banger, legitimately. And finally, here we have all of the Blokees Optimus Primes I have in hand so far, and this is just a wonderful lineup. Although, dare I say, I think the Transformers One efforts might be some of my favourites thus far. Like, I'm really blown away. Anyway, all told, it's been another spectacular round of figures from Blokees, a true success and a very worthy tribute to the awesome film that is Transformers One. So genuinely, if you are as much of a fan of the film as I am, I wholeheartedly recommend this lot. I think you'll absolutely enjoy it. And of course, in that vein, I will put a link to Blokees' site in the description below, so you can go ahead and check them out for yourselves. And I'll be including a link to another giveaway that Blokees are doing, same as last time. All the instructions are included after the jump, but the main thing you need to know is the more action you take, the better your chances are of winning. So go and check it out. I'd also be very grateful if you could leave me a like for today's effort, please, but otherwise, that's it from me. So have a great rest of your day, and TTFN.